My blissful gorgeous self, Azimuth ladies, equality, superiority and supremacy is growing. Mahamaya Bhagavati is more relevant and helpful form of absolute truth towards the growth of humanity all over the world. Mahamaya Bhagavati's true nature is Satchidanandam. Satchidanandam of infinite power, infinite wisdom, infinite bliss. She is unmanifest and manifest both, exactly as absolute. Exactly as abstract hydrogen and oxygen, H2O become liquid water and that becomes solid ice assuming various forms. So also, Mahamaya Bhagavati is formless, but she also appears in Samadhi as one's true self. In a state of cosmic consciousness, she appears as divine light or as all-permeating absolute truth, absolute Brahma. And for all and everyone, she appears in stunningly, amazingly beautiful teenage girl form, riding on her ferocious lion. This lion is no other than Dharma itself, embodied absolute religiosity or highly ripened righteousness itself. For common people, for ignorance, for ambitious, for body and multi-million desire-obsessed people, Mahamaya Bhagavati is seated in the temples as wish-fulfilling, prayer-responding, suffering-eliminating Divine Mother form with various different and diverse names and forms, my dear friends. When one understands Mahamaya Bhagavati in fullness, enlightenment happens on its own accord. In Chandi, in Durga Saptashti, it is said, Itham yada yada badha, Itham yada yada badha, danavotha bhavishyati, tada tada vatiryaham karishyamyari samchayam. Ever since the universe has been created by her willpower or her Maya, she always resides in her anti-material transcendental world. When and where the monstrous forces arise to superpower and persecute the righteous people, and her devotees invoke her, then and there she incarnates and fights the demonicism and destroys them and establishes pious people's government and gives them wisdom to be in ceaseless communion with her, or just bestows on them enlightenment just by knuckle of their head. Okay? That is how it goes. After anti-material worlds are populated, celestial worlds and astral worlds are also populated. Then on earth, Vedic civilization, its wisdom with long life, tall size, highly wise Rishi Muni, Raja and Samrats were born and lived by the wisdom of Divine Mother. It was very happy days of humanity, so it is called in history as Satya Yuga. So for this history you have to turn on the pages of intergalactic history, which are still available in thousands of stanzas, pages, in verses. So, my dear friends, let us proceed. King Surat and Samadhi merchant lost their state, properties, families and kinsmen out of deception by their relatives. They left for forest, and there they met and became acquainted with each other. Both had almost the same problem. They were craving and desiring and thinking for the same state, same kinsmen and friends and relatives who had no love for them. Rather, they had put them in a great deception. They approached to a great sage of their time. His name was Maharshi Medha. They offered obeisances to him and requested, "O holy sire, what is the cause of this confusion and horrible frustration? Even to us who are highly knowledgeable, we know our family, people and friends have no affection for us. Still, why so much attachment for them is tossing and turning our hearts all the time? What is the cause of such ignorance?" And Maharshi Medha smiled graciously and replied, "Mahamaya Reshchesa Taya sammohyate jagat jnanam vichetansi devi Bhagavati sa balada krishya mohaya mahamaya prechati taya visarjate vishwam jagadeta characharam saisha prasanna varada Bhagavati Muktaye." O king, O merchant, she is Mahamaya Bhagavati, who is expanding out over the essential nature of everyone in the form of cosmic slumber. Due to ignoring her, mankind is hurled into the real pool of attachment and falls into dangerously hypnotic, dreamy mental projection nightmares of this material world and its illusory hopes and expectations. There is no need to be shocked with surprise. Even Lord Vishnu was put to sleep by her. Even to the mind of great knowledgeable, she drags down to the heart-trembling downfall. What to speak of others? But this she does only to them who are negligent and ignorant of her, and commits offences after offences. But when she is welcomed with warmth through worship and jap of Navarna mantra and understanding of the wisdom of Srimad Devi Bhagavat and Markandeya Puran associated with Vedic Tantric way of life, then she becomes highly satisfied and bestows benedictions of all prosperity, peace and happiness. She is the eternal source of all delicacies of enlightenment, my dear friends. Then King Asurat asked, "Holy Sire, who is Mahamaya? Who is the Bhagavati? How she appeared on earth? Reverend Sire, I want to listen all about her." Then Medha Rishi was very delighted to hear that. There is nothing more delightful to the spiritually evolved soul than being greeted by a humble, sincere question regarding absolute reality, the Goddess Supreme, Mahamaya Bhagavati. He said, "She is the very existence of the existences of all. The universe is nothing but her gross outer form. She is unborn, eternal. Still, when righteousness is harassed by monstrosity, when a civilization, culture or kind of religious setup rises that supports heartlessness, insensitivity and opposes the integration of consciousness of people, then she incarnates. And actually this is not enough for her coming, but when there is a group of mother consciousness, and they long to sing a song of her, then to provide the materials for composing songs. Divine Mother, the Mahamaya Bhagavati incarnates and plays wonderful, heart-captivating, eye-soothing frolics. She appears then on earth age after age in various ways, innumerable ways, revealing inconceivable dimensions of her power, beauty, love and mercy. So, the Yoga Nidra incarnation is the incarnation of Mahakali, is described in chapter 1 of the Chandi, in the Durga Stuti. Chapter 2 is the description how the Mahalakshmi incarnated. Those were beginning days of creation, my dear friends. Golden age was proceeding swiftly, righteousness was widespread, but once in a while extreme materialism also prevailed in a very intense form. Once it happened that international monstrosity became individualized. Celestials fought with that dictator Mahishasur, but they lost the battle. The demon became Indra, which means not only the Lord of Earth, but also of all the planets of our galaxy, including planet Swah. Celestials and representatives of righteousness were killed, exiled, and ones who were lords of all planets are highly adorable posts, they were found wandering in wilderness, hungry, thirsty, tired, disguised. Great suffering brings the human mind to a great humility, my dear friends, and then surrender happens, submission happens, and when heart melts, the wisdom arises. All their hearts became extremely soft, melted, serene. They came to Himalayas, to the abode of Lord Shiva. Fortunately, Lord Vishnu was also present there. They satisfied the Lord through their great devotion and prayers. When Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu listened to the cause of their misery, in extreme compassion for them, anger arose for Mahishasur. Lord Vishnu's eyebrows turned up, face became red, then a great blazing translucent light arose from his face. It went up and up, stopped in the space, the same way from Lord Shiva, from Brahmaji and Indra, and from all of the gods. Also light arose and went up and combined together and became concentrated, and it manifested in the form of sky-creeping, extremely beautiful Mahamaya Bhagavati, the teenage girl, goddess. Through the light of Lord Shiva, her face was formed. Through the light of Lord Vishnu came her hands. Through Yama's light, her hair. And Chandra's moon's light was condensed as her breasts. Indra's light formed her thin waist. Varuna's light made her thighs. Bhudevi's light her hips. And Vasu's her fingers, Kubera her nose, Prajapati's her teeth, and her eyes were formed through Agni's energy. Her eyebrows manifested through Sandhya, ears through Vayu, and thus different limbs of Mahalakshmi were formed by the light of all celestial and super celestial beings. Their light was but the vibrations of their righteousness, their devotion purified by tapas, the penance, the austerity. Seeing that wonderful form of Divine Mother, all celestials and representatives of Dharma became so happy that they all shouted, Glory to thee, Jai Ho, Jai, Jai, Jai. All glories to the Mother Divine. All glories to Mahamaya Bhagavati. And then Lord Shiva produced a new trident from his own trident and offered it to the Mother with great reverence. Lord Vishnu offered a new discus. Himalayas offered her a tiger, huge, ferocious tiger, lion to ride, and also gemmed necklaces to adorn her heart. Ocean offered a lotus garland that never wilts. All celestials offered her whatever the best they can. Satisfied with their offerings and prayers and devotion, Divine Mother roared in extremely loud sound. She did it over and over. It echoed and re-echoed all directions. The universe could not assimilate it. Sky proved to be too narrow. Ocean trembled into absent tide. Mountains shook. The whole atmosphere became filled and moved. Mahishasura was sitting on his gorgeous throne, $160 million throne, in his heavenly assembly, surrounded by thousands of well-dressed ministers and warriors. These loud roars deafened them all. Many of them stunned, head reeled, and mind stopped to function, and many of them fell down unconscious on the ground, my dear friends. Mahishasura screamed, "Ah, what's happening?" They all imagined some mighty competitor is born, dressed in their martial dress, carrying supersonic weapons. They rushed to the spot and saw Divine Mother illuminating all directions to entire planet through her soothing light. Her crown, extending throughout the sky, resembled drawing a cosmic line like a rainbow, and in her thousands of hands holding innumerable weapons, she was covering all directions as the earth was managing somehow how to handle her mighty weight. Mahishasura could not bear this most beautiful scene. Crooked people are habitual to constantly disturb and attack or create unnecessary problems for the righteous ones. They cannot bear their presence, their existence, their laughter, their happiness. So demon Mahishasura had no cause to fight, no harm was done to him by Divine Mother, but he attacked upon her through all his power. He engaged not just some, but millions and millions of muscular soldiers who worked on their bodies like boxers, like samurais, like gorillas. Chikshur, Udagra, Asiloma, Baskal, another thousand of leaders, steel-like bodies with invincible armies and air force attacked on Divine Mother, showering innumerable arrows, spikes, javelin and spears. But Divine Mother was not at all sleepy. She was extremely vigilant, quite ready, awaiting for any oncoming top-high danger with her, which herself had invited, my dear friend. She cut off all weapons of demons playfully. Her lion was rapidly, as if flying, leaping in the army of demons, shaking the hairs of his shoulders as if a wildfire is set in the jungle. Through the exaltations of Mother, in thousands of warriors were born.